classes that we took was literally on systems and how much you can improve your business by having a document or a flow chart that's available to everyone, and it answers a lot of frequently asked questions. But it's the life cycle of a lead. Sometimes you're in the middle of working with a client and go, well, what now? So by having the system in place that everyone has access to, you know what the next step is. And it just makes business a little easier. You don't have to think as much.
Love it. All right. Zakia, you said focus on money and not percentages. What do you mean by that?
So one thing that I noticed about conference is that regardless, when you get into a session, you just start taking notes because you're like, oh. One of the things that was said was focus on the money instead of the percentages. And I found it to be something so simple yet compelling, because let's just say you go into a listing appointment and, you know, we say, okay, we think our value is 3% to get as far as our commission. And then they say, well, I have another agent and they offered a lesser commission percentage. His sentiment was, look at how much the difference is between the 2.5 and the 3% and say, okay, let's just say it's $1,200. In the grand scheme of things, if you've done everything that you're supposed to do as far as letting them know how much that they stand to walk away with, and then present your value proposition and let them know how you can make up that $1,200, then at the end of the day, that $1,200 may not even mean anything, right? Because it's probably something that the other agent is not going to do anyway, but you're going to do it to make that up. It's something as simple as saying, look, this $1,200, when you're going to get $50,000 at the end of the transaction, really it's not going to mean as much because I'm going to do X, Y, and Z to make it happen. So.
All right, Natalie. Natalie has become a rock star at Berkshire Hathaway, by the way.
It takes a good broker.
Yeah.
I agree with what the guy said. Adam and Layla are amazing, and thank you for making me who I am. Great part of what I am is because of you and everybody else that have been me.
Thank you, Natalie.
Wanda.
Natalie, you said something you've been able to rely has to do with listings that are selling.
Yes, and I'm not going to be here to tell you every listing that I have sells quickly, but there's some other listings where I bring the knowledge that I gained from conference, and we win the listing, we put it on the market, we educate our clients, and then we get it under contract within a couple of weeks. And I feel like a lot of this education comes definitely from conference, seeing what other agents, other professional agents are doing. One of the things that I was not doing and I learned at conference is having a crew behind you, like your plumber, your electrician, anybody that can help you make that house look better, definitely. And I didn't used to do that. And I learned that at conference, like you have to have your team behind you that can support you and that can help you present a better listing.
Natalie was able to be on a panel, and it was really cool because for Natalie, I've been a part of your journey, but I haven't heard you tell the story from a 30,000 foot view. So for you to recap that and how your hard work in serving your clients has literally changed your whole family has been a really awesome story to hear. Zakia, you mentioned 2 sessions that I happen to also go to that were really meaningful to you. One was he's a broker and he did a great job. And the other one was their AI specialist talking to us. Of course, was talking about AI, right? So out of those 2 sessions, what stood out the most with you, Zakia?
I have openly said this to several people. I hate AI.
Yeah. You and my 17-year-old.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it just because of my personal. Adam is laughing because I told him I hate AI. But seriously, it's no matter whether you hate it or love it, it's here, and we gotta use it. Right. You know what I mean? One of the things that he said is if you haven't upgraded your GPT upgraded version, if you haven't done that yet, then you definitely need to do that so that you're not limited. He also said that you need to update and personalize your profile. So that's actually something I've been working on this week. He said something that was awesome that I thought everybody needed to really look at how we're going to use this thing. So he said use it as a sparring partner instead of just trying to get it to regurgitate some information to you. Like, talk back and forth to it, get it to challenge you. You challenge it so that you get the best product out of it at the end.
All right, back to Natalie. So let's talk about this. When you go to a panel, like a training panel, who's on the panel?
It's usually agents just like you and I. And I came to find out there's some agents that speak at the conference and they're not top producers. They do what it needs to be done to continue to be in real estate. One of the things that I spoke at that conference was that I read Nard was saying that there was a lot of agents that during their first year they quit. And it's because most of them don't have the information that they needed. Being in the real estate career, business, it's like swimming in the ocean. It's like you have so much opportunities to grow as a salesperson, as an investor. So you just have to find the right people to guide you. And we are at the right broker. I want you to know that. If they could do this with me, and I feel like my English is not like yours, and if they could do this with me, you don't think they can do it with you? You just have to continue to come. You can remember this one thing from me. There is always room to learn. We don't know everything. Like I'm only 5 years in real estate and I cannot even touch Nancy's feet. She's been in it for years and you can ask her how many times I've stopped her, I've called her. I've stopped Adam at the gym one day and I said, Adam, I'm working this deal, what should I do? Chris, I've asked you about new construction. He is always willing to stop and help you. It doesn't matter if he's not making a penny out of your question. But guys, we have a great company. We have a great family. Take advantage of that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. I can't believe Adam's at the gym. I was just telling my 7-year-old in baseball, you can learn 2 ways. Other people's mistakes or your mistakes, right? And the thing is with peers, we have to get around peers because we live lives and the people we normally are around do not understand real estate, right? They watch just a reality TV show or they have this conception of what we do. They don't understand. And most of them work 9 to 5s. They're guaranteed a paycheck. They go, they clock in, clock out, and we don't experience that, right? And so every opportunity to get around peers it's information you're going to gain that is invaluable. It's just a great opportunity. That's why I missed it as masterminds, so that we have peer-to-peer groups to help each other. And so you see that at conference, and I agree, the panelists are always really good because it's actual, tangible, good things that you can put into practice right away. Tammy, one of our newer agents, she won the award for enjoying the party bus the most. So I think what I love with people that are new to the company or going to conference for the first time is they don't really understand how big it is, how big the network is, and how much momentum there is. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
And so you talked about the BHHS new agent experience. Tell me about that.
So for me, I felt that it was extremely intimidating, even though I passed all the experiences working for the government. But I felt like I didn't know where I was going, what I was doing, what I was expecting out of this. And I was actually very scared, just like sitting here talking in front of a group. Anyway, I felt all of a sudden I belonged. And it didn't matter whether I was crossing the street, seeing colleagues of ours shouting out on good morning, being part of the party bus, being able to stand in the line at the coffee, reaching out with other agents.
Everybody's a friends with you.
Yes, everybody. Yes. And just because of that, I made friends where I didn't expect to, that we might be doing a relocation deal with New Jersey and with Florida. So, just talking to different agents were not always the top producing, but they weren't always the same as at my level. It made me feel like I belong.
But what also made me feel like I belonged was just being able to socialize for the first time with this brokerage. So not only was it getting the information, the conference and what they do for the agents, I was just absolutely impressed.
And I agree with that. One of the things we look forward to as a staff is just being able to have time to get to know each other better and just talk and hang out. So Beth, you said some of the strategies that took away our practical tools. You said AI and the options beyond ChatGPT. I didn't know there were options beyond ChatGPT.
There are. So we'll touch on chat really quick. Zakia mentioned it. One thing we hear all the time, and it's
preached in all of our classes is a client reaches out, but maybe they're just gonna sell their house on their own. I had one that's actually a good friend of mine, and so I put in a chat and said, what are some of the best responses to someone that wants to be for sale by owner? They gave me a whole list, things I had heard before, maybe some new objections that they may have, and the listing went live 2 weeks ago with me. So I use chat as my sparring partner. But moving from that is you can use these chat programs to write a jingle and do a video to help market your house. And there's these free programs you can obviously upgrade and pay, but it just gives you an edge and it kind of changes your marketing a little bit. And that was really cool to take it one step further.
Natalie, you mentioned something about social media. You took away something practical about social media strategies.
The storytelling. There was a class that I love. At the end of the day, I do love a good story. People listen to you with a good story. And I've been implementing that. Every video that we've been creating lately, you tell a story about it. It doesn't have to be a big story. You don't even have to be a camera. Just use what you know. I don't know everything. Most of the stuff my assistant does it. Actually, if you see something, if you see my Facebook, that's because of her. But just do what you know and tell a story. Even if it's not something nice about it, I'm about to write about this listing that I've been having for 8 months already, and we could just not sell it. And I was doing so much, and my clients have been so patient, I'm gonna brag on them. We're about to close it, thank God. Hopefully, pray for me. But that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell the true story behind that house that couldn't sell. Don't just share like the good stuff that is happening in your life. Share those that would tell people, oh, this is like a real human. I mean, she doesn't have it all good. Things happen. So storytelling. If you wanna know more, I'm always happy to help. I see myself in you. I remember when I was begging Trevor, Victoria, poor Victoria, I asked her so many times to write my MLS listing description, and then ChatGPT came along. My brother was the first one to introduce it, and I have never had to bother Victoria again. So, but just find us. We're here for you.